Welcome everyone to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXE. I'm Derek Stuckley along with Brownwood Lions head football coach and athletic director Sammy Burnett. And you've brought a guest today, which we will get to in a minute. But first of all, Coach, how are you today?
Man, I'm just wonderful, Derek Stuckley. How are you?
I'm just peachy keen, jelly bean.
Peachy keen. I hadn't heard that in a while. It's something my mother would say.
That's what I'm here for, to bring back the classics.
That's right.
Yeah. So, we're 3 days into football practice now. How are things looking?
For us, typical Wednesday, 2 days of going at a level that they're not used to. It's always different when you got practice going, and Wednesday's always a day that's tough on them. Their bodies are sore, they're aching, they got bumps and bruises, but their attitude was wonderful. They came out well. I thought they finished the day extremely well, so I'm really pleased with just their camaraderie and their way they're just embracing the grind and going out there and working. So all in all, it was a really good day.
Is anything really sticking out one way or the other? I know you talked about the passion the other day. Anything else sticking out at this point?
No, yeah, I mean, we're showing signs of being physical. We had shoulder pads on today, getting used to the acclimation. It's hard to hold the reins back on a kid when they want to go out there and do some certain things. So liking the idea of the fact that we may be a real physical team. They're pushing each other on both sides of the ball. We're doing a great job if we're on defense. Our offensive guys or the guys that aren't on defense at the time are jumping in there, filling roles, putting a scout team together. We're not having to beg people to go in there and work. So the motivation to go out there and try to be different than we've been the last couple of years is there. So I'm excited about that. Looking at our offensive line, I mean, they're starting to come together as a unit. I'm liking what I see there. And the fact that the defense is picking up the new scheme fast. We got some smart kids over there. We're preaching knowledge is power, as we all know. And the more that they know, the more powerful they're going to be, the more irreplaceable they're going to be. So we got kids that are out there coaching each other. Coaches are being able to sit back and go, uh-oh, he's out there coaching one of his teammates. So it's a blessing. So that starts with the kids. So we're excited about that.
Are there any positions you're keeping an eye on more than others?
I'm still watching the quarterback. Ike's got doing a good job, but there's some mechanical things that he needs to work on. I'm always looking for depth. We can sit there and put 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, but I'm more watching who's going to step up. If you put your first team out there in the scrimmage and they do well, and then you put your second team out there and they're not successful because they don't know what they're doing and they're running a more remedial scheme because they don't have the knowledge. That's not strength. We got to be deep. We got to have guys, if someone goes down, someone can step in. They understand what they're supposed to do, and they can go out there and execute. Now that player beside them is going to believe in him. It doesn't matter who we put in the position. They got to know that kid's going to do his job. And we've been preaching the 4 elements that Coach Wood, he's the only guy that we can reflect and look back on that's won a championship here. And Coach Wood always said, coaches got to believe in coaches. Coaches got to believe in players. And that's done. I mean, our coaching staff believes in each other. They work hard together. We may bump heads and we may argue a little bit, but we're all fighting for the same goal, and that's put the best product that we can out there for the kids to be successful. And I tell our kids, if we didn't believe in you, you wouldn't be out there. So that's taken care of. Now what we have to do as coaches is get them to believe in us, and then they got to believe in each other, and that comes through just practicing hard and grinding together. But those 4 things Coach Wood always said you had to have if you wanted to be a champion, and it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you don't have those 4 things, you won't be successful. So we've been instilling that, and I see the kids buying into it.
Okay. Of course, a lot of kids back from last year's team, but who are some of the new faces this year that have kind of stood out so far?
Coming up from the JV, Sam Coleman in the middle of our defense, he's excited, man. He's slobbering at the mouth. All he wants to do is just hit something. And so I'm excited to see that. Saturday's going to be good for us because our offensive line is going to have an opportunity to go see how good they are against our defense, who's going to go as good. I mean, when you're talking good on good, iron sharpens iron, we're going to put our number 1 defense out there against our number 1 offense. It's not going to be a hodgepodge of let's put 6 of these guys over here and it's going to be the best offense we got against the best defense we got, and we're going to sort of measure ourselves and see where we're at. Isaac Gray is doing really well. He's really going to be solid there on the left side. I think Ike's progressing well. Colin Anderson's looking good. Dryden Anderson's looking good, dictating what goes on the back end of the defense. I'm really excited about our linebacking core that we have. So there's a lot of bright spots. I haven't really looked at someone and thought, man, I'm disappointed in them and what my expectations were and what they can do. They're going out there and proving to us that they want to be a part of it and want to be special.
All right. I guess kind of talk a little bit about the offensive line more. Like you mentioned some new faces there, and you've said before that that's kind of the heart of the offense. So how are they coming along?
No doubt about it. The offensive line is the heartbeat of the team. You don't have a good offensive line, you won't be successful. But if we go across from left to right, Isaac Gray, left tackle, Slade Espinosa is playing left guard for us right now. Chris Robinson is playing center. Then we have Damian Sanchez moved from tackle to guard, and then we have Rome Aguinaga playing right tackle. You also have Logan Knight, who has moved in, who once he gains the knowledge that he needs to be powerful, that so he can go in there and run the plays and be confident in it. He's been gifted with the frame to do so. So once he gains the knowledge, he's going to be a factor. We can move around. You got Davis Lee, who could be a center for us. You got Quentin McCarty, who could play on the offensive line. You got Cole Miller, who could play on the offensive line. But we have the luxury of not doing that now. Cole and Quentin both start on the defensive line for us right now. But yet we're platooning Cole in there, a little bit of tight end, and that's a bright spot. Taylor Besant, coming off a knee injury, has gotten thicker. He looks really good at a sniffer and a tight end, so we're going to be able to have a more tight end sniffer sets, which is going to makes us more multiple. So there's a lot of bright spots, and like I said, I haven't seen many negatives. I mean, if there is a negative, it's whether it's an attitude adjustment or an ego that we have to deflate. You know, we're coaching that up, and we're teaching those kids, and we're just trying to put them in that pot and mix them up and get them to understand what it takes to have a championship culture.
Okay. Health-wise, everybody still doing all right?
Yeah, I reevaluated yesterday, you know, watching our kids and watching film. We ran 100 and something tape that I had for offense and defense, and I'm watching the same kids running offense, and then they're running scout team for the defense, and they're going, and I'm wondering why we have so many throwing up, and we have so many getting cramps. We had a couple of full body cramps yesterday that I had to, you know, that's a concern to me, and I'm having to figure out why. And when I was watching film, I realized, man, those kids are running constantly. So we had to modify some of the things that we did today to try to help counter that, and they all came up to me and said it was good. So it's a constant, you know, battle to push yourself to the limit and get where you need to be, but also don't overdo it to where you're harming one.
All right. You want to remind everybody about the Maroon White scrimmage Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to do media day at 7:30. We'll take our team pictures, then we'll take family pictures with the coaching staff. Once that's done, and we take our individual pictures, we'll get our varsity out there, and we'll probably start around 9 o'clock at Gordonwood Stadium. It'll be a pretty light scrimmage, but it'll give you an idea of what you can look forward to. And we'll also do our little scrimmage with our freshmen and JV at the same time, and that'll just follow the varsity. I would think somewhere around probably 9:45 to 10 o'clock, we'll get our sub-varsities out there and come on out, sit in the stands, watch your kid, get a glimpse of what you can expect, you know, and be happy or be mad or be sad or whatever it may be. But we're going to we're going to get them out there, get another opportunity to get them on film so we can study it and watch them, make sure we got the right guys in the right spot at all levels.
Okay. You want to mention season tickets while we're at it?
Sure. Season tickets will be on sale throughout the rest of the week. You can get those from Lisa Hasso 8 to 12:30, 1:30 to 4:30, and you can get them on Friday from 8 to 12:30. She's asking if we can get that wrapped up by Friday. Would be great for her. Of course, if you can't be here, if you're out of town and you're listening and you still want to get those tickets, you can still get them, but we're trying to get that wrapped up by Friday. So if you could do that, it would be a great help to the athletic office.
All right. So do you want to introduce everybody to your guest today?
Sure. Everybody probably knows her. You know, she's coming off, you know, a couple of good years where she's starting to establish her program, and kids are starting to fall into place, and things are starting to roll a little smoother for her. But kicking off her season pretty quick is our head volleyball coach, Allison Smith. So I'll be quiet and let her talk about her crew.
All right. So this is your fourth year now, right, Coach Smith?
Yes, going on 4.
So how are things going so far?
Really good. We're about to go into our 6th practice here at 1 o'clock. We've been doing 2-a-days since Monday, so it's been busy. It's kind of crazy. We're announcing teams before this next practice, and we're having our first established team practice today at 1. So we hit the ground running, and it's exciting. It's going to be a fun year.
Okay. Well, you have to get things ready a little quicker than Coach Burnett does, though, since
a little
first
bit.
Game's Tuesday. So
yes, first game is Tuesday.
How are things going on that front?
You know, this afternoon's practice is really going to tell us a lot where we stand, what we need to work on, what our rotations are going to look like throughout the program. We luckily have 3 scrimmages to kind of tweak and adjust as we need to and get the best starting lineup out there by next Tuesday for a doubleheader against Wall and Llano. So it's fast, but we still have time. It's still going to be good to have us established by then.
Of course, you lost 7 girls from last year's team, so
Yes.
how is it going filling those roles?
It is a little bit of a challenge. I mean, 7 out of my 12 on the varsity roster graduated last year, but I have good kids that have been waiting for their turn, and now they've got it, and we have holes to fill. I'm excited about the freshman group that have come in. They're very coachable, very athletic as a whole, and they're eager to learn and be a part of the program as well.
What do you feel are the strengths of this group, and what do they need to work on the most?
Our defense is strong. We have a lot of defensive players, and which I love. I think that is we could go against any strong offensive team, be the strongest offensive team. But if you go against a strong defense, they're frustrating to go against. And that's the type of team that we're going to have this year. They're scrappy. They're not going to let a ball hit the ground. And that's what I want. That's a team that I prefer. We do have a little bit of weakness, at the net with just graduating. The majority of what we graduated last year were our offensive girls. And so we're learning and we're getting established back up at the net, but we'll have it handled and ready to adjust. And it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but all in all, I think our defense is going to be really, really strong for us.
Okay. You mentioned the scrimmage Friday. Who are y'all scrimmaging?
Yes, we scrimmage San Angelo Central, Sterling City, and Big Springs.
Okay, and that's going to be in
San Angelo Central,
okay.
Yes, sir.
And then Tuesday's the home or season opener and home opener here. What time are those games going to be?
Yes, we start off at 10 o'clock that day, and then it's just kind of rolling from there.
Okay, sounds good. Coach, anything you want to add for Coach Smith?
No, she's doing a great job. I'll go in the gym and watch her kids. It's tough on them. They practice like in 63-degree weather.
Very difficult.
I walk in from outside and they're
Indoor
wearing
sports.
their Eskimo coats and all that, trying to practice. I don't understand that method, but hey, no. But all joking aside, I go in the gym and I see them working really hard. I got our assistant coaches going; they're working hard, and girls seem to be excited about what they're doing. So I'm excited to see them kick off their season.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach Smith, for being here. Anything else you want to add today, Coach Burnett?
Yes, I do. As soon as I get this, my Coach Smith struggling over there. I just want to remind people on Friday at 6 o'clock at Bruner Auto Group, we're having a countywide community pep rally. Get to introduce all the kids and see them. We'll have the cheerleaders and bands, and I'm sure they'll have drinks and that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty neat deal to come out and see that. So do so. I know the Lions Mothers Club will be there to sell their things so that you'll be ready and decked out come Friday and Thursday nights. And if you're going to the volleyball game on Tuesday, you'll have your stuff to be decked out on that. And also I want to give a shout out to Big Country Ford and Tom Skull, who once again has donated a vehicle for us to pull a trailer on Friday nights for all of our equipment. So that's a big deal. And then cross country and everything they're trying to do, really worked with Roland Soto and gave us some opportunities to use the aquatic center to get our athletes, low impact workouts and high resistance in the water. So I just wanted to thank them for always being willing to help our kids be successful. So thank you to those individuals and people for allowing us to do that, and also make sure we thank to make the show possible so that we can do this radio show twice a week. That'd be Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Hendrick Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Peets. New one to the list, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson, Western Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas. And welcome Heartland Funeral Home to the show.
Yeah, Sam Stewartson in the
That's what I'm talking about.
Good deal. All right, well, that will wrap up today's Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXE, KOXE.com, and the KOXE Facebook pages, and we will be back next Monday.
You bet. Have a great day, Brownwood.